Alright, welcome back to Flight Sim 2024. Welcome back to the SimWorks Studio Kodiak 100, and welcome to a beautiful early morning here on the ramp at East London in South Africa. We're going to be doing a fairly short flight, it's just over an hour, from here to Mthatha, and we have a very full load today. We're just on the limits of our weight and balance, and our CG as well is pretty much on the limit of being off because we're absolutely maxed out in terms of passengers and cargo. So if we jump over to the iPad, we can have a look. Here's our flight today. So departing from East London, current weather shows pretty good, 22 degrees, QNH 1015, Cav OK. It's 21 minutes old. We're looking at winds of 340 at 6 knots, which gives us runway 24 for takeoff. We might change that, and the rest of this is all good. Takeoff roll about 348 meters. We've got plenty of runway remaining because it's nice and long here. Rotate at 60, and we'll be climbing out at 99, which is pretty standard. Okay, if we go back, going into Mthatha, also 22 minutes old Mthatha, Cav OK, QNH 1019, no wind reported at all. Runway 32 we're expecting. It is a hard surface, and flaps 35, if we go for flaps 20. So flaps 35 gives us VRF of 75, flaps 20 gives us 85. Still got plenty of runway in hand, obviously, with a landing roll of about 360 meters, over 1.5 kilometers remaining. So I think we'll do that one, flaps 20. If we look at our weight and balance, this is where it gets pretty interesting. So we are only 18 kgs under our max takeoff weight, and we are only just within CG limits, so I'm gonna set quite a bit of trim for our takeoff. We've got full up with 9 passengers, so technically our co-pilot is actually one of the passengers, so 9 passengers on board. We've asked the heavier people to sit up front so we can just barely get that CG under control, and then just 40 kgs of random hand luggage, which we've actually put in the front of the cargo pod, so we can once again move that CG as far forward as possible. For our flight today, we're cruising at 5,000. We're flying VFR, so that actually we're gonna do 5,500. Temperature will adjust as we go. Cruise power, we'll do 75. Normal air conditioning will be on. It's a 125 mile flight, and this should actually be VFR. Okay, we got plenty of fuel on board because we're tanking. That's another reason why we're so heavy. So we're only looking at about 100 kgs of fuel. Am I reading that correctly? It was actually, we had it here nicely. There we go. So required fuel 247. We've got just under 600 on board, and the actual fuel burn we're expecting to be just over 100. So the 247 gives us our extra reserves as well, but we've got plenty on board. So cruise time of about 43 minutes. We're looking at being in the air is what I mean, for just under an hour, but we've got over 3 hours range with reserve. Total fuel on board is just over 4 hours. Okay, so all good there. Okay, so the last thing I need to do to get prepped is just put these weights into the aircraft. So I'm just going to pull this out. Okay, 2 seats in the front, so co-pilot we had at 60 and the pilot at 90. This one not entered. Oh, it did. Okay, and then cargo. So now we got to get this. So row 1. Okay, let's actually start at the back. So cargo shelf, we've got nothing in there. Then right at the back, we've got 60 and 60. And then these are all 77, because FS Economy uses 77 for the default. That's why I'm using 77. So we should have 2 rows of 77. That's correct. So that'll be these. These middle ones are actually the cargo pods. So we can actually put in this one. We've got, what did I say? I think it was 40. Yeah, 40 in there. And then this will be 90, 90, 90, and 90. Okay, so there we go. We're right on that limit. 291 max, we're at 258, so we're a little bit less than what the planning app says, but I think we're good. Right, that's loaded. So then all that's left to do is jump aboard and start getting things set up. And there you can see our cabin full up with passengers. Let's get our door closed here. Okay, so let's just get this out of the way so we can turn the master battery on, or battery master on. Avionics. Okay, nav lights, beacon lights will switch on. Bypass will turn on. And I think that's good for now. Okay, then we go make sure that that's back. That's all the way back. So is that. Fuel shutoff can come on. I'll turn on the fuel tanks and we can fasten the seatbelts as well. Right, then that's fine, that's fine. Okay, so fuel pump on, ignition on. We'll go low start. Now we can go mixture to low idle. Okay, ITT. This comes off, that comes off, that goes back to standby. Rock can go full forward. And generator, alternator, and aux bus. Pitot heats. This is now on. That's all good. Okay, then taxi lights we can turn on. And the other thing I'm going to do for this takeoff is if we come down here, let's just go over here. Okay, so we're going to go full right rudder for takeoff, and we want to have the trim forward a bit because we're nice and heavy, so about the top of the T. I should just set this default view here so we don't have to jump around all the time like that. Okay, that's better. Okay, then I guess we can put in our route. Okay, so we're going from here at East London. So that's FAEL. Going to FAUT. Was that 32? Just grab my tablet and check quickly. So they gave us, yes, runway 32. Cool, that's done. I just want to check something on the chart. Suppose we can do here actually. So runway 24 is actually the shorter runway. So just thinking, what's the wind doing? So it says 34086. Okay, we can do runway 24. So that gives us, if I do 29, I think 29 is actually better. That's headwind, a little bit of right crosswind. 24 actually gives us full right crosswind and actually a little bit of tailwind. So actually 29 is better, so we're going to change that. Actually, so what I actually want to do is come in here and do runway 29. Okay, then just want to set one waypoint, which is Ekgeb, which just takes us along the coast nicely. So our passengers will have a bit of a scenic flight down along the coast first. It's ETGEB. It should give us a waypoint down here somewhere. There you go. Cool. We are good to go. So we're going to climb up to 5,500 feet. So we can set that as well. Set my flaps for takeoff, and then we need to set this to 1015. Okay, lights are set, flaps are set, props full forward. We'll just see we're clear on both sides. Let's release the brakes. and we are on our way. Nice and heavy. It took quite a bit of power to get moving. Normally the Kodiak is pretty keen to go. Okay, so we taxi along here. We're going to turn right and then go all the way down for runway 29. I think we'll just do full length just to be safe. It's up the hill here. We're going to be flying into the sun. Taking off with the sun behind us, but the rest of our flight is kind of going to be like this. Okay, we can flip this over to GPS in case we want to use that for the autopilot. Heading, and we will go flight level change. Dial us up to about 115, so we don't have to do it a crazy steep climb or anything like that. Okay, let's go strobes, landing lights. Good. Okay, I'm gonna go condition lever rich as well. A lot of power to get up this little hill. Right, and I think we are good to go. So the one thing I didn't check is my takeoff torque setting. So quickly back to the app. Okay, 1585 and rotate at 60 knots. I think I'm just gonna let it gently come off the runway because we are really heavy with that aft CG, so it's the first time I'm taking off with full right rudder as well, on the trim I mean. So we're just gonna have to be careful here. Okay, here we go. Okay, 60 knots already. And she does not want to fly. Very heavy. Okay, there we go. 100 knots. Let's get some more trim in there. flaps coming up. Just watch the nose that wants to dip. Yeah, I'm going to start a left-hand turn here towards the coast. Take some of that rudder trim out. Just keeping it nice and low here because it looks cool. Nice and low down next to the coast. There's the airport we just took off from. Now we can slowly start climbing back up. Okay, let's continue our climb up to 5.5. Let's sync up the heading, and actually we'll just go vertical speed and aim for about 1,000. Rudder trim moves so quickly. Okay, but there we are, departed from East London, which is now behind us, and we are well on our way. Just under 1,000 feet to climb. Okay, for our cruise, what is our temperature here? Oh, we can actually take this out of bypass now. You can also turn off the taxi lights. We'll leave the rest on. Okay, leveling off at 5.5. Yeah, let's bring our prop back to 2000. So we can just clear that. Okay, outside temperature is 16. So we want to aim for a torque of about 1170. So we're going to be putting the throttle back a lot. Okay, like so. Then according to the app, that should give us a fuel flow of 291. So how close are we to that? Fuel flow 292, 291. Perfect. Absolutely bang on. True airspeed, it says 145. Let me just sort out this rudder trim. Okay, that's better. True airspeed 157, so we're same as last time. True airspeed is quite a bit higher than what this is predicted, but it's probably because our winds are incorrect. So we are, at the moment, we've got about what do we say, 10 knots on the tail? I'd say that's probably about 10. Let's put that in. Right, otherwise everything looks good. Everything's in the green. Torque has come up a little bit. Okay, that's better. Okay, so it's saying about 11 minutes to that first waypoint. Just over the coast here. There are a couple of small airports just on the coast here if we need. Wavecrest is here somewhere. I think that's the one we've just passed. we're basically flying almost parallel, so maybe if we just bump this in a bit, we can catch up to our GPS route. So we're looking at about 10 minutes to that waypoint, and it's probably 25-ish minutes from there to Mthatha. This is the Kai River over here, which we're going to cross over just now. Big river. All the Kai River that cuts its way through the mountains here. Pretty cool. Okay, all looks good. Fuel flow 292, torque 170. We're at about 2010 on the RPM, that's fine. QNH 1015 still, and 156 on the true airspeed. Ground speed 164. Very nice. That now 7 knot tailwind is helping quite a bit. Okay, so we actually have an RNAV arrival for 1432, so we can put that in. We will be coming from this side, so that works kind of nicely. You can leave that for now. Okay, so just over 30 minutes to top of descent. Okay, so I think we're going to cruise along for a bit. We're about to intercept our GPS, so let's pop that into nav mode. So we'll just cruise for the next kind of 30 minutes, and I'll join you again when we start prepping to descend into Mthatha. Okay, so as you can see, we're pretty close to Mthatha now, and I think I'm not really going to need to fly the approach. We can switch and actually just do it visually. So there's actually a bunch of VRPs in the area as well, so we need to follow like the main highway, which we're about to cross over now. Can I see it out this side? Yes, there it is there. And it goes along that way. Right, so we can ditch the autopilot. And I'm just going to let the nose drop as well. We can slowly start descending. So the VRP we're looking for is along the highway here. It's T-Shell Ultra City. And then we're basically gonna follow that. Well, follow the highway, carry on to the prison, and when we cross over the next major highway, which heads in that direction, That's pretty much where we can start our turn. The airport is kind of over there, because we can see the dam already, so it's in there somewhere. Pull the throttle back ever so slightly to keep that very gentle descent. There you go. Right, there's the highway. That looks like it could be the Ultra City there. Just going to keep this off to my left-hand side so I can see it easier rather than flying directly over it. I'm going to go prop full forward now, which will actually give us a bit of drag. Pretty sure that that's the Ultra City there. That's it there. And I can see the runway. I'm going to slow down to 85. And it will be flaps 20 for takeoff, for landing. Other thing I actually, which isn't going to make too much of a difference now that we are visual anyway, but it's QNH 1019. flaps 10. Your damper's coming off as well. Flaps 20. There's our 85. Nice long runway, so we can just let it run. We can go over here and just do low idle. And here's the first taxiway here. Let's just hit the brakes. Flaps coming up. Taxi lights on, landing lights off, strobe lights off. Ryan, welcome to Mthatha. Just take one of these parkings. Yeah, let's take the one where we actually have the ground crew. Let's see, which way does it face? I think it's straight in. Nowhere near that line though. Parking brake set. Okay, let's turn these off. This can go to off. Shut down the engine. Right, there we go. Taxi lights off, nav lights off. Go ahead and shut down. Okay, safely arrived at Mthatha. A nice, very chilled early morning flight over from East London. Takeoff was a little interesting because we were very heavy. Landing was also a little interesting because of the weight. But once again, just a pleasant little flight in the fantastic SimWorks Studio Kodiak 100. So that's going to bring us to the end of this video. As always, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you did enjoy it and you want to follow along, you know what to do down below. Hopefully I see you in the next one.